Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Debra. I'm here from beautiful Wisconsin. I live right across from Lake Michigan. It's a dream. But my life always wasn't a dream. I'm living the life I always dreamed of now. I travel the globe speaking. I travel the globe telling people how to be empowered, how to show their superpowers. And yes, I know what you're thinking. You do have a superpower. All of us has a superpower. But I didn't recognize mine for a really long time. And I know we go through struggles of trying to understand that we have the worth that we actually do. So let me tell you my journey. It all started back when I was 5 years old. I knew then for sure I was going to be a teacher. I'd line up my dolls. I'd line up my stuffed animals all in a row. I'd hand out papers. I'd grade those papers. And I even disciplined those kids when they got out of hand. About the same time, I had my first big theater break. Are you prepared for this? I got to play the Virgin Mary at the local Christmas pageant. Can you believe that? I was a star at 5. I knew my journey was going to be miraculous and wonderful. But as all good stories go, you got to have villains and you got to have some challenges. It didn't take too long before I got my first challenge. I was in 2nd grade. I developed some high fevers, lack of oxygen. And when that happened, I went back to school, and what was super simple for me before, grammar, spelling, suddenly the words were running around on the page. I couldn't comprehend. I couldn't figure out how to spell even simple words at that point. Actually, I still have trouble. I mean, to this day, and I have a doctorate, and I'll get later how that helped, but I struggle spelling simple words. How do you spell if you can't get the next letter? Sometimes there's a silent P, and this frustrated me so much. And it would have been okay if I had a teacher that would have helped me, but I'm telling you right now, I hit my first villain. She actually would take kids like me struggling in school and make fun of us. She told us we were lazy and we were dumb and we were stupid. She would hold our papers up to grade. And if we got C- or under, she'd tack them on a wall of shame and let the other kids laugh at us. She even threw us out of the class because she said if we're that lazy, we had no right to be in her room. A secret? The hallway was really, really fun. So much better than being in that classroom. But I'd never been a bad kid before. That was kind of cool in a little bit way too. But I didn't get the education I needed. Well, a lot of things happen. We don't have that kind of time today. So I'm taking you down the road to when I went to college. I went to a small university because I was a little nervous with the spelling and the grammar. About halfway through the first quarter, I got called into a professor's office. And he told me that the best advice he could ever give me was that I should drop out of school right now. I was not college material. Wow. I didn't really know what to do with that. I walked across the campus, tears falling down my face, thinking, how can I talk to my parents about this? They're paying for this. This is their dream for me. It was my dream. I wanted to be a teacher. Well, I didn't take his advice, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle things because I wasn't going to get any better at spelling or grammar. And then I took a radio class, a speech class, drama classes, music classes. I was on my way. There were no papers, no spelling, and no grammar. Wow, this was wonderful. Next challenge, I went from a 2-year college to a 4-year college. Well, Something I didn't understand is that when you go from a 2 to a 4, you walk into that four-year college as a freshman. And I thought, well, bad football tickets. No, turned out a whole lot more than that. Remember, I want to be a teacher. So what happened is I got to the end of my freshman, really junior year, and I had to sign up for classes for my senior year, which was my sophomore year, and I found something out. I was told I couldn't get any student teaching positions until a year or two later. Well, I couldn't do that to my parents. So here I'm walking across campus. I don't even cry anymore. And I thought, how do I do this? What do I do? So I just graduated with my BA in speech communications theater and my minor in art. Remember, no papers. Well, I tried 2 more times to get that teaching certificate because I wanted to be a teacher since I was 5. This was not fair. 2 times more, I was blocked. My master's in education, I thought, master's in education. I had kids by now, and I thought, okay, this is a good thing. Master's. And they actually told me from the college that they would help me get a student teaching position. But I lived in a rural area. There weren't any. And they told me right after school quit, when you couldn't really get a hold of any teachers, that I had to find my own position. I argued with them, but they said, we changed our rules. So once again, I had 2 months to take 2 extra classes to get my master's in education. Well, then I thought, a few years later, I was going to be a college professor. How cool is that? And I was ready. I worked hard, 5 years of research. Of course, I researched teachers, right? 5 years of research. I argued my dissertation. I got called Dr. Debra. I graduated. I leaned down and got that hood put over my head, and I wore the funny hat. I was so excited. You do all that prior to sending in your dissertation. So I was getting ready. I was, doing the grammar and the spelling and having editors because, see, when you can't do grammar and spelling, you have to have editors, all right? So I was waiting for all those papers to come back. And I got a letter from the college. They were shutting down in 2 weeks. I had a choice of not graduating, even though I had already walked, or signing a paper saying I would never use my research anywhere else, and I could keep my doctorate. So once again, I signed it again. But when you're a college professor, particularly in the field I'm in, you have to have that doctorate or no one takes you serious. So now here I am in my 50s going, I'm still not a teacher. I got angry. I got mad. I got frustrated. I thought, what in the world? I was born to be a teacher. What's going on? And I woke up. One day it came to me. You can't stop a teacher from teaching. No, you can't. You can't stop them. I have been teaching all along, but I've been doing it out of the box. I've been doing it in a way that wasn't traditional. My kids didn't get summer break. They got me. We would go to the library, research countries, make food from them, go on field trips, plant gardens, do math, and of course art. I had been teaching all along. Can't stop a teacher from teaching. Then I realized I started drama music programs in 4 different churches. I did 2 after-school high school programs in drama. I was teaching. I did community theater. I also did, my friends had a small drama school. I worked with her, taught music and singing to those kids. I've been teaching all along. Can't stop a teacher from teaching. but I had to do it out of the box. Sometimes, and that's the message I just really want to get out there, particularly to women, because too often women, we get paid less, we don't get the jobs, we don't get the promotions. Sometimes we got to do things out of the box in our own way. But I'm a teacher, that's my superpower. I talk to the world about having your superpower, recognizing it, and developing it. We all have one. Mine's teaching. The thing is, you just got to understand that inside of each of us is a gift. Inside of each of us is a destiny. But that path, like mine, for you may be going not so good. Because you see, life has challenges. Life has blockage. It's rare that somebody just zooms through life and it all comes out okay. And you actually may be using your superpower and not even know what it is. You could have any kind of superpower. Maybe you're like me, you want to be a teacher. Maybe you got blocked, or maybe you're frustrated in your teaching job and looking for another way to teach. There's hundreds of ways out there to teach. I teach all the time. I'm doing my dream job now. I'm traveling across the world speaking. What is speaking but teaching? I get to stand on stages and share my knowledge like I'm doing today with you. This is another way, another vehicle of teaching I'm doing today. You can't stop a teacher from teaching. And I know I'm saying that a lot, but you can't stop whatever your gift is, whatever your superpower is. You see, I get to, I'm doing a podcast now. That's another way I get to share with people my views, but I also get to meet and have wonderful other women come on and share their gifts and their businesses and their views. I coach speakers, help them develop their speeches and tell their stories in a powerful way. See, it's all teaching. And whatever your gift is, you see, what stops us? I'll tell you what stops us, particularly as women. I'm talking heart to heart right now. What stops us is ourselves and our view of what the world tells us it's supposed to look like. What stops us, particularly as women, is that sometimes we don't value our own gifts as much as we should. I actually talked to my husband one night and I said, okay, do you worry about all these things going on around us and the house and everything else? And he goes, no. I said, well, what are your concerns? Well, I go to work and I come home and I watch TV. That's a man. Ask a woman what she does. And I was there. I was there for many, many, many years. I thought I had to be everything to everybody. I had to take care of my kids, my grandkids, my mother, my father, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles. I had to work a job. I had to get an education. I had to work at the church. I had to do my favorite charity and get the kids to all the games and to all their programs. And I was exhausted every single night because I thought I had to do that all by myself. I think society made me feel that, but I'm here to tell you, let's get rid of some of these myths. Let's get rid of some of these things. Because you see, that gift that's in you, like teaching's in me, everybody out there is waiting for you. They are waiting for your gift to explode. There's somebody right now that you could talk to. There's somebody right now that needs you. I devalued myself. I thought that what I had was not as important as what other people had. and that my job was to support them. And now I'm finding out there's all this stuff burning inside of me, and I now have a place to say it. I now have a place to do it. And it's in you too. It doesn't matter what your gift is. Like I said, it could be teaching. It could be writing. Why haven't you wrote that book then? You've been saying you wanted to write that book for a real long time, haven't you? It's burning in you. You think about it. You try sometimes. Just do it. But one thing we have to do as women, we have to learn how to be 2- and 3-year-olds. I know that's going to sound funny to you, but think about it. What's the one thing we tell our 2- and 3-year-olds not to do? And that we need to do? And that's say the word no. Yes, we need to learn to say no. We need as women to learn no. So you need to be practicing that. As you're listening to this, I want you to practice saying no. Say no to anything, number one, that you don't like. Why are you doing something you don't like? Why are you doing something you're not good at? That's even more important. Somebody says, hey, you want to do this? And you're like, well, I'm not good at it. It's okay. That's another thing we have trouble saying, is that I'm not good at something. I'm here to free you because I had to be free. I pretended I could do all these things that I knew I wasn't good at because I didn't want to let people down. It's okay. They really don't care. They don't care if you say no. They'll go ask somebody else. So learn the word no. It's hard. It's hard to focus on ourselves. But I believe they say that, well, I know when I was just flying on the airplane and they were doing that thing at the beginning of the airplane, and they said, when that oxygen mask comes down, put it on your face first before you help your children or anybody else with you. See, it's not selfish to help yourself, develop yourself, and become the amazing superhero that's inside of you. It's not selfish in any way, shape, or form. Because if you develop yourself, like I teach, I'm able to help all these other people that would never have heard what I had to say, like you're hearing right now. If I hadn't stopped myself, did a good talking to myself, and realized I had to develop the gift I had, which is teaching. So somebody out there right now, remember, is not getting what you have if you haven't stopped to do it. But the real call here is, and I know one of the things that stop us is, what about my family? What about my children? Well, guess what? What kind of legacy was I leaving? And what kind of legacy are you leaving? Particularly to your daughters, granddaughters, nieces, and other women in your family. My kids actually have all come to me and said how proud they are of me. I worried about that too, I really did. I thought, you're doing this speaking gig, you're traveling around, you're no longer taking care of all this stuff for them. I still do Christmas and all those dinners because nobody else cooks. But sorry, kids. But yes, what kind of legacy are you leaving them? We do so many things sometimes that somebody else could do easily, or we could pay somebody to do, or it's not even important. Sometimes we do stuff that is not important. And yes, will somebody get mad at you? Probably, but they'll get over it too. And in the end, when you start respecting yourself, I know this has happened to me personally, when I started respecting myself. I went through a lot of years of not respecting myself. And because of that, I made so many bad decisions. I chose wrong friendships, wrong marriage, wrong a lot of things. I spent a lot of time doing things I never should have done because I didn't respect myself. Now I respect myself. And it's so much fun. It is just so much fun. It's so much fun to get up in the morning. It's so much fun. Even when I'm working, and I work all day and half of the night sometimes to get things together, it's fun. I don't feel worn out. I mean, 5 minutes doing something I don't like, I'm worn out. Doing what I love, no, it's like a joy. But you sometimes, again, I want to point out, think out of the box. You may be a teacher out there and you're thinking, well, I'm burned out. Is there another way you can teach? Is there another avenue? Maybe you can be a speaker too. Remember, I help people become speakers. Maybe you're sitting there thinking, I want to do that. Well, I'm here. I'm here to help you. You see, we got to stick together. We got to encourage each other. And too often, I've also seen that with us women, is that we don't support each other the way we should. And I think that's because we can't find ourselves. But once you get all assured in yourself and you're feeling it and you're enjoying it and you love it, you want other people to have that kind of feeling. And I know everybody out there has a talent, a superpower. But think about this. I know you probably all know the Avengers because you have kids, grandkids. What if the Avengers, let's say Tony Sparks decided not to do any more technology. The Hulk decided not to smash things. What if they just decided, oh, I'm just not going to do it anymore? And I know it's a TV show and a movie. I get that. But that's life too. If we don't do what we're born and made and created to do, it may not get done. And in that case, the world doesn't get saved, but maybe people in our lives aren't getting what they need from us. So it's not selfish to develop yourself. It's not selfish to use your gifts. It's not selfish to think bigger than what anybody ever told you you could think. See, the sky's the limit on what you can do. I wanted to be a teacher in a school, and that would have been really, really great. But in the end, and I did some of that, in the end now, I'm reaching far more people than I ever would have reached in a classroom. I'm reaching people in different countries. I'm reaching all kinds of ages, men, women, children, teenagers. Look at some big possibilities. Okay, so now you've been thinking about that superpower you have. I want you to come with me on this journey. I want you to put on your superpower capes. You don't need a real one. Just put it on, tie it. Because each and every one of you is a superhero. Superheroes don't let people tell them what to do. They do the job. They're ready when someone needs saving. You are a superhero. And particularly talking to my girls out there, we're all queens. See, queens also don't let people tell them what to do. They don't listen to people around them. In fact, they got people who get rid of the people talking to them around them. We're all queens and kings for you guys if you're listening too. Because yes, put those crowns on. You don't actually have to walk around wearing one, but that's cool too. I want everybody right now to raise their right hand. And I want you to repeat after me. I have superpowers. I am a superhero. I am now going to commission all of you to go forward from this point on and to become the best, the greatest, the most powerful superhero in whatever your gift is. From here forward, You are not going to let anyone stop you. You are not, do you hear me? Not going to back away from it. You're not going to get distracted. You are from here on going to develop, change, and become the best superhero you can be. So everybody, I want you to say right now, I will do this. Thank you. Thank you for your service and what you're going to be doing, because people are waiting for you out there. They just can't wait for all the things you're going to do. And when you get through this life and you're near the end, you're going to look back and you're going to say, hey, how'd that happen? I became the hero of my own story. But more important, you're going to look back and you're going to think of those people that you touched, that you helped, that you taught, that you did services for, and they're going to think, wow, you know what? I became the hero of someone else's story. And I'm telling you right now, there's no greater thing than that. So if, like I told you, I help people develop their stories. If this is something that resounds with you and you want to take this a step further, I'm at sheroars.live. Just go in, book a 20-minute call, and we'll talk. If you've got a powerful story, I want to hear it. I have a podcast, same place, sheroars.live. Go in there because the world's waiting for you to tell your story so that you can help them get over the burdens that you went through, or the trials, or the struggles. Thank you so much, and just have a wonderful, beautiful day.